Hello. Hi, hope you guys are doing well. Welcome. I'm Sarah, and this is a place for people who are questioning their faith or deconstructing their faith and looking for a place to connect. So if you are watching this back, like on the replay, basically I just go through the comments and we chat that way. So there should be a way for you to turn on comments. Hello, John. Oh, sorry. Hi. Hope you are staying warm wherever you are. I am we have a bunch of snow here. Hey, Flock. Hope you guys are doing well. Hi, Eric. If you guys hear gentle snoring, that's Ruby. She's gently snoring. Oops. I need a bigger table. This stuff doesn't all fit on here. Oh, you've had snow for weeks? Yeah. I mean, that would make sense for a lot of parts of the world right now. Hi, Dr. Joe. Hello, hello. It's good to see you. Hi, Walt. Welcome in. Well, for anyone who's new, hey, I'm Sarah, and this is a place for people who are deconstructing or questioning their faith, and just want a place to connect. Hey, Calmus. Just a little background about me. I grew up Protestant, Christian, evangelical-ish, and now I consider myself an agnostic atheist. Oh, well, it wouldn't be my app if it didn't crash. Crash number 1, done. Hey, Captain. Well, it's good that the weather's nice, Eric. You see me with Justin? Yeah. Well, hopefully it doesn't crash anymore. Hey, 666. Hello. Hi. Oh, no, it's not coffee. What does my name mean? So I used to be a Christian and now I am not. Hey, Satan, welcome. It's always funny for me to say that. Hi. So I actually have a whole video that gives you the whole backstory. That's on my page. I have a frequently asked questions playlist. If you all hear snoring, that's coming from Rubes. She is a champion sleeper. What do I do? You mean for a living? I'm doing fine. Oh, from Switzerland. Awesome. Oh, fancy. I haven't seen any Franklin Graham commercials. Thanks. Have I been on AXP? Yes. Hi from Australia. Hello. Yeah, I definitely was part of some winter weather. What my degree is in, human physiology. I'm from the Bay Area. Well, yeah, I'm sure it's not exactly wintry in Florida. Thanks. Yeah, I am doing well. This is Ruby. She is snoring. Will I be doing another live with Justin? I'm sure I will. I don't know exactly when, but yes. Correct. I am no longer a Christian. Thanks. She is cute as hell. Yeah, her name is Ruby, and she's a Great Pyrenees. No, it's leaving faith. I'm not a Christian at all, Martin. I used to be a Christian, but now I'm an agnostic atheist. What is physiology? Physiology is like the study of how your body works, essentially. Dylan, freedom of speech doesn't apply to alive. Okay, we're gonna do that. Oh yeah, Gregory definitely, or sorry, Gregorov. Definitely, yeah. Watch our newest episode. It's up on my page. Paychecks. Yeah, I know. My comment section is always wild. Hey, Dee. Oh, what does my cup say? It says, always be yourself. Unless you can be a unicorn, then always be a unicorn. Oh, thanks, Martin. You bet. So, for someone asking what happened, again, I have a frequently asked questions playlist. So you can see, why do you do this? Why don't you believe anymore? And what do you believe? I have that all set for you. It is sound advice, definitely. Dylan, I stopped believing it was true. Oh, it's weird that it shut you out. Well, I'm glad you came back. Yeah, Martini, this is Ruby, snoozling. Sean says, I believe in reincarnation. That's interesting. She is almost bigger than me, yeah. Do you believe Jesus is a historical figure? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they just can't believe we don't believe. I know. Would I like to believe in reincarnation? I don't know. Depends on what you believe about it. Like, do you have any choice in who you come back as? Hi, Ekta. What is reincarnation? It's a form of after you die, you come back to life as a different person. There's lots of variations of it, so that's just a pretty general answer. As a unicorn, indeed. Yeah, karma would dictate that. Okay. Eric says, I kind of thought for a while that if consciousness comes from somewhere, it could go back there again, but I'm not aware of any evidence for reincarnation. Yeah. I also don't really have any evidence that consciousness comes from somewhere independent of our bodies. um, yeah, I mean, Sean, I'm aware that monks that meditate for long periods of time seem to do some pretty cool things. Cal, hello. I don't know, Dylan. Hi. Well, thanks for popping in, Chip. Hi, Lucas. Hi, Aaron. Aaron says, I hope you are well. How do I deal with super dogmatic parents? They think I just want to sin and I'm bringing a bad name to the family. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's such a tough position that they're putting you in. I mean, you will know as well as I do that you can't make someone see something they're not ready to see. And so you can only do so much. You know, there's nothing you're going to be able to do to force them to see things, you know, a different way. You know, you can remind them of all the things you have in common, but if that doesn't work, which it may not, you know, you may just have to set some firm boundaries. I'm sorry. Pepsi or Coke? Coke. Hi, John. Hello, Katie. Yeah, you know, John, I mean, I agree that like there are some people who are very determined not to know things, and you can't make them know things, you know? Is there a name for the reflexive assumptions and accusations that immediately come from believers towards the deconverted? I don't know. don't know if there's a specific name for it. Hi, Salty. I mean, it's, often prejudice in a way, and making a false assumption about people. JC, hello. Lucas, I'm an agnostic atheist. Hey, Rachel. Kel, I watched you stream your snow shoveling too, but only very briefly. Oh, Fancy says, I had an Uber driver a few months ago who tried to preach at me. It was so awkward when I told him I used to believe, but not anymore. Ugh, that would be so frustrating. I would not like that at all. Hi, Fisticuff. No worries, Lucas. Yeah, I think it's with an S, like everywhere else, and a Z in America. I think you're right. The bunnies are good. What do you think about the religious experiences that come from psychedelic use? I think that that demonstrates that our brains are capable of having these transcendent sort of experiences. Some people achieve that through meditation. Some people achieve it through prayer. Some people achieve it through psychedelics. But it's clear that human brains can do that thing. Oh no, at the Piggly Wiggly. Heard of atheist but not agnostic ones. So that basically means like I don't believe in God. I don't think that there is a God, but I also don't think I can know like for 100% certain. Has the timing been changed? I started my live a little later than usual tonight. I was just busy earlier. That's John. I don't know why we keep losing God. Well, hey, Eric, welcome. Hi, Ewok. Yeah, you bet, Lucas. Actually, no, I used to be a Protestant Christian for a long time. Hey, Doug. Yeah, Lee says, I experienced oneness with everything on psychedelics. I have tried to find it explained by science. It was life-changing. I certainly have heard people say things like that. So I know you're not alone in that experience. What does my mug say? My mug says, always be yourself. Unless you can be a unicorn, then always be a unicorn. Fancy says, I'm somewhat jealous of the people who are lifelong atheists. It sucks to be indoctrinated at a young age and have to break out of it. Lucas, it's a long story, what changed for me, but I did make a video about it. It is on my frequently asked questions playlist. Are you snoring, baby? Yeah, Eric says, my biggest problem was divine hiddenness and deception. No particular experience. Yeah, I have not heard an actually good explanation for divine hiddenness. Well, Aaron, if God is real but evil, I think we're probably all in trouble. John, I did see a person on TikTok that was quoting the Pew Research Center, but I did not. DTW, Dr. Joe is a moderator and my friend, and she has every right to enforce the rules of the live. I don't know what I was saying. Have you considered you aren't believing in the wrong concept of divinity? I mean, sure. I just don't have any evidence of then what the right one would be. Well, Sound Elf, I'm not debunking anything. That's like not what this live is for. Hey, Cindy. How long have I been live? About 20 minutes. Thoughts on aliens. There probably is some life out there. Seems likely. Atheist is a good term. God is so vaguely defined that no good concept of God exists to have evidence of. Hey, Raving. Eric, I did not have any alternative God concepts, I don't think. Sure. So, Sound, do you have evidence of any different kind of God or divinity? Yeah, if you can hear the snoring. She's dreaming. I can feel it. Yeah, you snoring, baby. I can see her little feet. She's a Great Pyrenees. That's interesting, Duck. Theosophy, Neoplatonism. So do you have any evidence of divinity? Ewok says, I was Presbyterian as well. Did you find that learning predestination affected your views of our limited control? And if God exists, this must be his plan. You know, I don't know if like my particular church was just like not a good Presbyterian church, but like I, like, growing up in that church, we did not say predestination. Like predestination was bad, because it meant you couldn't choose God. And so it wasn't, I don't know, my particular church itself wasn't that Calvinist, even though we believed that God knew how everything was going to turn out and he designed us. So that kind of de facto is predestination. We never said it that way. Um, and that's kind of one of the reasons too that like when people ask me, what was your denomination? Like I wasn't fully any one denomination. Raymond, thank you for the super chat. Raymond says, I like your content, yet I dislike channels that doesn't allow anyone to chat. Subscriber mode. So in YouTube, subscriber just means follow. So this is just follower mode. You just have to follow my page. So you don't have to pay any money. It's just, Raymond, if you get here early before I've turned on subscriber mode, you will see the insane comments that I get from people. Really wild and sometimes gross. And so if I just put it in subscriber or follower only mode, that really cuts down on that a lot. So sound says it basically posits divinity as one non-dual source that is beyond any duality. It is not a being because it would imply change, and it is beingness itself. So that sounds like such a broad definition that I'm not sure the utility of that. Like, how does that belief impact you? Yeah, Fancy says, being a woman on the internet, especially with an opinion, lends itself to many icky people popping up to say icky things. Yes, I'm very grateful to my moderators too. Yeah, so Sound says, as to your question about evidence, you would have to explain what evidence would convince you. To me, existence itself, logic, order, is evidence of something other than blind matter. So yeah, that would, to me, would not be enough evidence. Yeah. So I am not convinced by philosophical arguments. So again, Raymond, I don't charge a fee to be a subscriber. That's, I hate the language that YouTube uses because the term subscriber seems to imply that you're paying money, but it just means follow. So you don't ever have to pay me any money, Raymond, and you can still comment. Where's the mug I painted? It's in the dishwasher. Again, Sound, I'm not debunking anything. This is alive for people who no longer believe in God. I'm not trying to prove God wrong. So if you say, what would it take to convince you? I mean, if you're trying to convince me that a being exists, that's one thing. I understand you're not trying to convince me of that, but I need some type of actual physical evidence, something testable. I mean, what would convince me of the existence of God is actually being able to see physically and interact with or talk to a God. That would convince me. Sound, you just asked me what would convince me, and then you're saying, it's impossible. We don't have the tools to do that. Okay, but that's what would convince me. Yeah, Satan Was Framed says, I hopped on a TikTok live the other day, and YouTube chat is so weird when you compare it. It is. It's such a different vibe. I mean, once we get going, and it's subscriber only, and it's not too bad. Well, TK, I actually don't think any intelligent anything created the universe. Hi, did I wake you? I'm sorry. Do I believe in reincarnation? No. Greg, the TikTok chat, mine, I do get a lot of angry Christians, but I get way less like just random trolls or like really gross comments. I mean, Raymond, I don't know. I don't believe in any gods. Did you ever struggle with guilt or shame as a Christian in a way that you don't anymore? Yeah, I mean, certainly I still experience those two emotions, but I feel much less guilt and shame for just being a human, and not being perfect. Sean, I don't know who that is. Oh, I'm sorry you were chased out of church, Raymond. No, Amuth, I don't. You got kicked out for your attitude? That's funny, Fancy. Lucas, in those studies, they were not able to like see the codes that were hidden in other rooms. Like the conclusion was that they did not leave their bodies. How do you think we should treat those who try to convert others? I'm I think if someone is in the place to hear an alternative perspective, I think we should share that perspective. But I think often when someone is insistent on converting others, they're not going to listen to a thing I have to say. And so at that point, I would just ignore them. Like it's just not going to be helpful. Well, yeah, Captain, I mean, and, you know, and the NDEs are so varied. Like people have such different kinds of experiences as well. Hmm. Zork says, I think it is unethical to try to influence law or public policy or other human beings based on claims that you believe by faith alone. Yeah, NDEs make it seem like we all do create our own reality somehow. Yeah, I mean, when people have NDEs, a lot of the time it's linked to their existing beliefs. Yeah, Pickens says apologists don't realize they chase people like me away from faith way more than you atheists do. Yeah, apologetics is not for atheists. Apologetics is for existing Christians. Do you guys want to see a bunny loaf? Try not to startle her. Hang on. There's a little loaf of a bunny. She blends right in with the carpet. But that is her as a loaf. Hi, Checkers. Yeah, she's a cutie pie. I know, right? She blends right in. Captain, I did when I was a kid. You do have to watch out. Make sure you're not, especially the bunnies like to be underfoot. Sean says, I like the idea of an afterlife. If this is it, it's kind of sad, right? It is kind of sad. Yeah. Yeah, Captain, I think they're cute too. Oh, hi from Greece. Picken says, my folks raised me with a hopeful, simple but devout faith in a loving God. After losing them, I paid more attention to other Catholic voices, and their idea of God seems alien and awful. Satan was framed. Thank you for the super chat. Satan says, Sarah, I demand you have Justin set up a bunny cam. I need to figure out how to do that. The problem, though, is like they don't stay in one place. So I would need a camera that like follows them around. Are bunnies good for people with allergies? Often, no. It depends. So, like, I'm allergic to cats, but I'm not allergic to the bunnies. Um, but it depends. Although sometimes people are allergic to their hay. The little camera would be cheap, but it's the setting up and displaying the image that's challenging for me. Yeah, thanks, Astro. I got it. I got her. Yeah, Aaron, I'm not interested in the Phil Bro conversation. It's yeah, not for me. No, thank you, King. As in philosophy, bro. Yeah. So, Sean, that's a term that I don't know how widespread it is, but particularly in like atheist or agnostic like conversation or debate spaces, there are people who want to argue philosophy as if like philosophy is irrefutable. And weirdly, it's almost always men. I have never had a woman talk to me that way. It's almost always dudes, and there's a certain way that they talk about philosophy, and that's a Phil bro. Yes, Calamus, I agree. That's why the conversations are always just frustrating. Yes, always from a theist perspective. I agree, Dr. Joe. Good night, Satan. Oh my God, Sound Elf, you are proving my point right now. Huh, that's interesting, Greg. What does ex-Christian mean? It means that I used to be a Christian and I no longer am. Yeah, D, that's always where it ends up, is special pleading. When you were a Christian, what were you? Are you asking what denomination? Um, Jelenade, I'm not sure why this merits like 8 question marks. Um, so I believed, and then as time went on, I stopped believing it was true. Sound Elf, when did I say that I was sure my experience was not a hallucination? You assumed that. I never said that. As a Christian, what were you? Not the denomination. I don't know what you're asking then. Yes, Raving, I used to believe that. Hey, Prestige. Okay, Sound Elf, that has nothing to do with what you just previously said. I think you're out of your depth here. You identified as a Christian. What does that mean for you? So when I was a Christian, it meant that I had accepted Jesus as my Savior and, Lord of my life, and I had turned my life over to Him. Oh no, Sean, you're good. Okay, we've had enough of you. Yeah, sorry. I I kicked him out for a little while. That was enough of that. That's the other problem with Phil Bros is not all of them. Some of them are nice, but often when you start disagreeing with them, they suddenly become very angry with you. And I think that that's telling. Yeah, it depends on what once saved, always saved means to people. Because for some, it means like you're saved as long as you keep believing. But for some, it means like, hey, if you ever were saved at one point, no matter what, you're always saved. Troll, I don't accept any religious belief system. Oh, thank you, Bree. I appreciate that. How do you deal with all this hate? Oh, well, to be fair, it's not that much hate. I've had much worse. But I think like when a total stranger comes in and says something absurd, like that doesn't bother me much because I like it's easy to know that it's not true, you know? Um, yeah. So it doesn't bother me that much. ND, I consider myself an agnostic atheist. Fair enough, who? What is that? It means that I don't believe in God, but I don't think I can ever know 100% for certain. Thanks. You're an atheist named Christian. Hmm. Pickens says, if God is real, I don't think we would just philosophy math our way to knowing him or her. Yeah. Do you think men care more about philosophy? I don't know the answer to that. The only kind of data I have is that men tend to use philosophy as proof in this space. So, like when they're talking about proof of God, men seem much more likely to use philosophy as that proof. But whether men in general like philosophy more than women, I don't know that. Oh, thanks. Shibidal says, I'm enjoying the Bible study episodes with Justin. What have you been learning from this process? Um, I mean, the Bible is a wild document. And, so far, so we're only in Genesis. It's so evident that the God described there is not omnipotent, and is not omnipresent. It's, yeah, it's been interesting for sure. What do you think existed before the Big Bang? So the hypothesis that makes the most sense to me is the like Big Bang, Big Crunch hypothesis, where we're in kind of this infinite loop of the universe expanding so much until it collapses on itself and then it expands again. I I know it's just a hypothesis, but that's the one that makes the most sense to me. What if God is real? We've just been lied to about what or whom. Oh, bye, Roops. God is. I mean, that's certainly possible. I would think that God would want to come down and correct the misunderstanding. Yeah, Sean says, I will say on this forum and YouTube, you are far more likely to get dudes interested in sharing their worldview. What's really weird, so on TikTok, my audience is about 50-50 men and women. On YouTube, it's literally 90% men. It's wild. Yeah, Pickens says, my issue with the Philbro conversations I've seen is it seems to be more about amassing and citing famous classic concepts and not thinking for themselves. What I've noticed in those conversations is that often they approach it as foolproof. Like, oh, I have this logical proof. It's irrefutable. I've got it. Like, this is impossible to disprove. And I have seen people like really be attracted to that idea. It's fine, Flock. Yeah. Yes, they think it's just like math, but it's not. Yeah, absolutely. They treat it like math. Yeah, Fisticuff says, Philbros use words as weapons, not to communicate ideas. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely relate to wanting proof and wanting evidence and wanting that certainty. Like, I can definitely relate to that part. Teleology, what's that one? You know what drives me nuts, Picking, is all the words. Like, can't we just have a normal conversation? Lucas, it's something is not a fact because you have personal experience. Something would be a fact if you had data to support that. I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you? In math, there's unprovable true things, so it's possible God is literally not provable. Well, and I mean, I think, when you have a God that is invisible, never takes action, is never predictable, isn't audible, isn't tactile, um, it's created a situation where it's not provable at all. Oh, why? Oh, interesting. Proper ends, purpose? Why do they assume that everything has a purpose? That's strange. Hi, PB. Oh, PB and J. I like that. Yeah, PB&J is the best. I would not turn one down. When I was a kid, we had to eat super duper healthy, and so the sandwiches my mom would pack me were like, that seedy like Ezekiel bread, and then like natural peanut butter, and then a little bit of like sugar-free jelly. And I was always so jealous of the kids who got like Wonder Bread and Jif peanut butter. Jeremy, what are you talking about? Emerson says, a woman on our neighborhood Facebook page thought that she prayed the freezing rain away from our area while Mississippi got slammed with it. Yeah. There was someone, I think it was No Nonsense Spirituality, that reposted this. Like, a woman was anointing the power, like the telephone poles, but like for the power lines to like protect them from losing power. And it's so frustrating that like they think if they say the right words and put oil on the right things, then they'll be protected. But somehow that doesn't apply to, like, I don't know, children starving. It's just crazy. Oh, flip strawberry jelly for sure. Although, if possible, raspberry. And right now, the PB&Js I'm making, I have this strawberry rhubarb jam, which is delightful. It worked though, right? I have no idea if it worked. Yeah, couldn't tell you. My moderators are great. I agree. Yeah. Flock says, just asking doesn't get results. You have to do stuff while you ask. I remember, so I used to be relatively charismatic in like the last few years I was a Christian, and it was like you felt like other people would pray and these amazing miracles would happen, and it didn't happen when you prayed. So you felt like you were doing something wrong. So then you tried to figure out, okay, did I not say the right words? Did I not confess enough sin? Did I miss a step? And it's like you know that what you're doing sounds like you're just casting a spell, and it's bad, but you kind of can't stop yourself. What is a moderator? A moderator is someone who has the power to mute people who aren't following the rules. Pickens says, another one of my little soapboxes lately is the way apologists dismiss and even attack the importance of emotions and feelings. Well, and that's incredibly hypocritical, because when you really get down to it, so many Christians, when you show them contradictions or failed prophecies or whatever, so many Christians end up saying, like, yeah, but I feel like it's true. And the core of many people's faith is feelings. And so yeah, for apologists to dismiss our feelings is intensely hypocritical. Oh. Dex says, oh man, since you clarified spiritual warfare for me, I'm looking back and realize how much my mom did that stuff. Alrighty, friends, it is getting late and I need to go to bed. Um, Thank you for hanging out and for a lovely conversation. Um, I will be back here on YouTube on Thursday, and otherwise, I'll be over on TikTok. I think TikTok is starting to figure stuff out. It's getting a little better. I don't know. Um, at any rate, I will be back here on Thursday. So hopefully, I will see you all soon. Have a great day.